The huge space station called Epsilon Verge floated silently in the black void. It was shaped like a giant silver ring, turning slowly under the light of a distant blue star. Inside its central hall, thousands of beings from many worlds sat in curved rows. They had come for one reason: to watch or to judge. Today, the ancient rules of the Galactic Concord would decide who owned 3 star systems near the edge of known space. On one side sat the Zareth Dominion delegates. They looked like tall insects with shining shells. Their bodies were covered in smooth, rainbow-colored chitin that reflected light like oil on water. Long feelers moved on their heads, and sharp mandibles clicked when they spoke. At the front stood Princess Valera. She was taller than most humans by almost a full meter. Her armor gleamed with tiny lights that ran along the edges. In her 4-fingered hands, she held a long energy lance. The blade at the end hummed softly, violet fire dancing along the edge. She had never lost a fight. Not once in her life. Her people called her perfect. Her muscles were grown in special vats. Her bones made stronger than steel. Her mind trained since she could walk. She was 7th in line to the throne, but many said she deserved to be first. Across from her stood the humans. Only a few came. They wore plain gray uniforms with no bright colors or fancy decorations. No one in the crowd paid much attention to them at first. The Zareth had ruled large parts of the galaxy for thousands of years. Humans had only joined the stars a short time ago. To many aliens, they were still new, still weak, still noisy little creatures who spread too fast. The human leader stepped forward. His name was Captain Elias Kane. He was not tall. He was not young. Lines marked his face from years of hard work and harder fights. His left leg dragged just a little when he walked, an old wound from a battle no one here knew about. His uniform had no medals on the chest. His boots were worn. He carried nothing in his hands except calm eyes that looked straight ahead. A tall, thin alien in black robes, the Concord judge, raised both arms. His voice came from speakers all around the hall. 3 star systems are claimed by both sides. War would cost many lives and much treasure. The ancient clause is called trial by single combat, 1 champion from each side. Winner takes the systems. No fleets, no armies, only skill and will. Murmurs ran through the crowd. The Zareth side made happy clicking sounds. They knew who their champion was. Princess Valera stepped into the open space between the 2 groups. Her feet made soft taps on the metal floor. She stopped 10 steps from Elias Kane and looked down at him. Her large black eyes narrowed. The violet glow from her lance lit up the scars on her face, marks from fights she had won easily. She spoke in clear galactic standard, the common language everyone used. "You are the human they send?" Her mandibles moved slowly, almost like a smile. "One small man with a bad leg, no armor worth calling armor, no weapon I can see. Your people must have given up already." Some aliens in the back laughed quietly. A few made bets in low voices. Elias Kane did not move. He looked up at her without blinking. His voice was quiet but steady. "I am here. That is enough." Valera tilted her head. Her feelers waved. "You speak bravely for someone so small. Let me explain what happens next so you understand. I will walk into the arena. You will follow. I will strike once, maybe twice. You will fall. The Concord will name me winner. Your coalition keeps nothing. My dominion takes the systems. Simple, clean, over in moments." The heat from her lance brushed against Elias's face. "I do this quickly, human. Not because I fear you. Because I pity your kind. You fight with anger and fear because you have no real strength. I fight with perfection. You will lose." The word hung in the air. "You'll lose, human." More laughter came from the alien seats. Someone shouted, "Give him 1 minute at least." Another voice answered, 30 seconds. Elias Kane waited until the noise died down. Then he spoke again, still calm. "We'll see." That was all he said. Valera straightened up. She looked almost disappointed. She had expected fear, anger, begging, something interesting. Instead she got 2 quiet words and a steady stare. The judge raised his arms once more. "The champions will enter the sphere of judgment in 1 standard hour. Weapons limited to personal melee. No ranged fire above low yield. No external aid. The arena AI controls gravity and force to allow true combat without instant death. But death remains possible." He lowered his arms. "Prepare." The crowd began to move. Delegates stood and talked in small groups. Some went to place bets on how fast the fight would end. Most gave the human no chance. A few curious ones watched Elias Kane as he turned and walked back to his small group of humans. A young human officer, a woman with short hair and nervous eyes, stepped close to him. "Captain, are you sure about this? She's built like a war machine. We have other fighters, stronger ones, augmented ones." Elias shook his head once. "No, it's me." "But sir," I said no. He kept walking. The woman stopped and watched him go. She bit her lip. She did not understand why the quiet man with the limp had volunteered. No one did. On the other side, Princess Valera returned to her people. They surrounded her with respect. A high advisor bowed low. "Highness, shall we prepare the honor speech for after victory?" Valera clicked her mandibles once. A short, sharp sound. "No need. It will be short. The human fell. The Dominion claims what is ours." The advisor nodded. "As you say." Valera looked across the hall one last time. She saw Elias Kane disappear through a side door. He did not look back. She felt a tiny spark of annoyance. Not fear, never fear, but something close to irritation. Most opponents trembled when she spoke. This one had not. He had not begged. He had not shouted. He had simply said, "We'll see." She tightened her grip on the lance. The violet fire burned brighter for a moment. "Soon," she whispered to herself, "you will see." The hour passed slowly. The station lights dimmed in some sections to save power. In others, they grew bright to welcome the coming spectacle. Screens around the hall showed close-up views of the 2 champions preparing. Valera stood in her private chamber. Assistants polished her chitin armor until it shone like a mirror. They checked the tiny power cells in her limbs that gave her extra speed and strength. They oiled the joints of her lance so it moved without sound. She stood still and let them work. Her mind was already in the arena. She pictured the human's face when her blade first touched him. She pictured his body hitting the floor. She pictured the silence that would follow. Across the station, Elias Kane sat alone in a small room. No assistants, no fancy tools. He drank water from a plain metal cup. He checked the edge of his standard combat knife with one thumb. It was sharp enough. He flexed his bad leg a few times. It hurt, but pain was old news to him. He looked at the wall for a long minute. Then he stood up. Time to go. The crowd was already filling the viewing seats around the sphere of judgment. The giant ball of clear material floated in the center of the main hall. Inside it, gravity could change in a heartbeat. Air could vanish in one spot and appear in another. The AI watched every move. It stopped anything that would kill too fast, but it let blood flow. It let bones break. It let the fight be real. Princess Valera entered first. She walked through the crowd like royalty. Her people cheered with sharp clicks and raised lances. She stepped onto the platform that would carry her inside the sphere. The doors opened. She stepped in. The platform rose and carried her to the center. Then came Elias Kane. No cheers, almost no sound at all. A few humans clapped quietly. Most aliens watched with bored faces. He stepped onto his platform. The doors closed behind him. Now only the two of them remained inside the sphere. Vylera stood tall, her lance pointed at the floor, but ready. Her eyes locked on the human. Elias Kane stood straight, despite the limp. His knife stayed in its sheath on his belt. His hands hung loose at his sides. The judge's voice filled the sphere. Champions, the trial begins at the gong. Fight with honor. The winner claims the prize. The loser accepts the result. A deep tone sounded once. Then silence. Vylera smiled with her mandibles. You'll lose, human. Elias Kane looked at her for a long second. Then he answered, Maybe. The gong rang again. Louder. Final. The fight was on. The gong's deep sound faded. For a moment, nothing moved inside the sphere of judgment. The giant clear ball held the two fighters like insects trapped in glass. Outside, thousands of eyes watched on huge screens. Bets were whispered. Timers started on gambling boards. Most showed the same guess. Human down in under 20 seconds. Princess Vylera stood tall in the center. Her chitin armor caught every light and threw it back in sharp colors. She held her energy lance in both main hands. The violet blade hummed low like an angry insect. Small power cells in her shoulders and thighs glowed faintly. They were ready to push her body faster than any normal creature could move. She felt strong. She felt perfect. This fight would be easy. A quick lesson for the noisy new race called humans. Across from her, Elias Kane stood still. His boots touched the smooth floor lightly. His combat knife stayed in its sheath at his hip. No glow came from him. Just a man in gray fatigues that looked too plain for this place. His face showed nothing. No fear, no anger, no smile. Only calm. His bad leg took a little more weight than the other. Vylera spoke first. Her voice came clear through the arena speakers. Last chance, human. Yield now. Walk out. Live. I will not offer again. Elias looked at her. He answered quietly. No. That one word made her mandibles click in annoyance. She had expected more. A plea. A boast. Something to make this interesting. Instead, silence and refusal. She moved. It happened fast. 1 second she stood still. The next she shot forward like a spear thrown by a machine. Her long legs pushed off the floor. The power cells in her thighs flared bright. She crossed half the arena in a blink. The energy lance swept in a wide arc, aimed to cut him in two at the waist. Elias did not jump back. He simply stepped to the side. One small step. At the exact moment the blade would have hit. The violet fire passed so close it singed the edge of his sleeve. A thin line of smoke rose from the cloth. He felt the heat on his skin, but did not flinch. Vylera spun at once. Her balance was perfect. She brought the lance around in a tight circle, this time low, trying to take his legs. Elias lifted his bad leg just enough. The blade hissed under his boot. He stepped forward while she recovered. She attacked again, faster now. 3 strikes in a row, high, low, high, each one fast enough to blur. Elias moved like he had seen them coming minutes ago. He leaned left for the first, slid right for the second, twisted his body for the third. The lance never touched him clean, only air. The crowd outside started to murmur, not loud yet, just confused sounds. This was not how it was supposed to go. Vylera stopped for half a second. She studied him. You dodge like prey, she said. But prey always tires. I do not. She changed style. No more wild sweeps. Now she used short, sharp jabs. The lance tip darted like a striking snake. Each thrust aimed at heart, throat, eyes. Precise, deadly. She moved in a half-circle around him, forcing him to turn, to keep facing her. Elias kept his knife sheathed. He used only his feet and body. He stepped back when needed, slid sideways, bent at the waist to let a thrust pass over his head. Once, she came so close, the tip grazed his cheek. A thin red line appeared. Blood dripped slowly down his jaw. He did not wipe it away. She laughed, a sharp clicking sound. First blood. How does it feel, human? Your end starts now. Elias touched the cut with 2 fingers, looked at the red on his skin, then looked back at her. Feels like Tuesday, he said. She did not understand the words, but she felt the calm in his voice. It made her angry. She pushed harder. The power cells in her arms lit up brighter. She moved at speeds most eyes could not follow clearly. The lance became a storm of violet lines. She aimed to overwhelm him, to force a mistake, a stumble, a moment when he could not move fast enough. Elias bled more. A cut on his forearm, one across his ribs, shallow, but they stung. His gray shirt turned dark in spots. His breathing stayed even. He still did not draw the knife. The screens outside showed close-ups, slow-motion replays. People saw how close each strike came, how little Elias moved to avoid them. Some started to whisper, "He's not even fighting back. Is he scared? He's buying time." Valera felt it too. Something was wrong. This human should be dead already. No normal body could keep dodging like this. She had fought augmented warriors before, beings with metal limbs and wired nerves. They lasted longer than most, but they always broke. This one had no wires she could see, no glow of implants, just flesh and bone and a bad leg. She decided to end it. She stepped back 3 paces. Then she activated the first level of her Fury Cascade. A soft whine came from inside her armor. Her muscles swelled slightly under the chitin. Her eyes turned brighter black. Speed doubled, strength tripled for a short burst. She charged. The floor shook under her steps. She crossed the distance in a heartbeat. The lance came down in a vertical chop meant to split him from head to groin. Elias rolled to the side, not graceful, but fast enough. The blade hit the floor and sparked. A small crater smoked where it struck. She spun and struck again, and again, each blow faster than the last. Elias kept moving, back, side, forward when she overreached. He used the sphere's curved wall once, pushed off it to change direction quick. She followed, relentless. A thrust caught him. The tip sliced deep into his left shoulder. Blood sprayed. His arm hung limp for a second. Pain flashed across his face. Real pain, but he did not cry out. He shifted the knife to his right hand without looking. Valera pulled back to strike the killing blow. Elias spoke then. Quiet. Steady. "You burn bright," he said. "But fire needs fuel." She froze for half a second. No one had ever spoken to her like that in a fight. Like she was not the hunter, but the hunted. She snarled and attacked again. This time Elias moved different. Not just dodging. He stepped into her range on purpose. When the lance came high, he ducked under it. His good shoulder slammed into her midsection. Not hard enough to hurt much through armor, but enough to push her off balance for 1 heartbeat. Surprised. He stepped away again, breathing harder now. Blood dripped from his shoulder to the floor in slow drops. The crowd noise grew. Not cheers yet, just confusion turning to interest. Valera felt heat in her chest. Not just from the fight. Something else. Doubt? No. Impossible. She was perfect. He was nothing. She raised the lance again. "You think tricks will save you?" she said. "I have fought for centuries. You are new, weak, done." Elias wiped blood from his mouth with the back of his hand. "Not done," he said. "Not even close." He finally drew the knife. The monomolecular edge caught the light. Thin, plain, sharp enough to cut atoms if swung right. Valera laughed again. A little blade against my lance, you are finished. She charged once more. But this time, Elias did not step aside right away. He waited, watched, learned. The fight had only just started to change. Outside the sphere, the betting boards flickered. Numbers moved. Timers stretched past 1 minute, past 2, past 3. A few aliens looked at each other. The human was still standing. The fight went on. Blood dripped from Elias Kane's cuts and made small dark spots on the clear floor of the sphere. His left shoulder hung lower now. The deep slice there burned like fire every time he moved. His shirt stuck to his skin with sweat and blood. But he still stood. He still watched. Princess Valera circled him slowly. Her breathing came faster than before. Not tired yet, not really, but the first edge of effort showed. Her power cells glowed steady, but tiny heat lines rose from the joints in her armor. She had pushed hard, harder than she planned. This human should have fallen long ago. Instead, he moved like he knew every strike before she made it. She stopped, raised her lance high. The violet blade flared brighter. You bleed, she said. You slow. I see it. Why fight more? Yield. Save what little pride you have left. Elias wiped blood from his eye with his good hand. He looked at her. His voice stayed quiet. Because I'm not done. Valera clicked her mandibles. Anger grew inside her. Not the clean anger of a hunter facing prey, something messier. She felt mocked. She felt questioned. No one questioned her, ever. She decided to break him. She triggered the second level of her fury cascade. A low hum filled the air around her. Her body changed again. Muscles under the chitin swelled more. Veins pulsed bright under her shell. Her speed jumped. Her strength doubled again. Pain would come later. Sharp pain in her joints. Damage to her organs. But later did not matter now. Now she would end this. She moved like lightning. The lance whipped through the air in tight, fast patterns. High slash, low thrust, spin and cut. Each move flowed into the next without pause. The sphere's floor sparked, where the blade missed Elias by inches. Air hissed. Light bent around her as her refractive armor worked harder. Not clean anymore. Not easy. He took hits now. A glancing blow across his thigh opened another cut. Blood ran down his leg. His bad knee buckled once. He caught himself on the curved wall, pushed off, kept moving. Valera laughed, sharp, loud. See? You break. She lunged straight. The lance aimed for his chest. Elias twisted at the last second. The tip grazed his ribs, tore cloth and skin. He grunted, the first real sound of pain. But he rolled under her arm as she passed, came up behind her. For the first time, he struck back. His knife flashed. Not a big swing, just a quick cut at the back of her knee joint, the spot where armor met softer tissue. The monomolecular edge bit in. Not deep, but enough to draw green ichor. Valera hissed, spun fast. Her lance swept wide to catch him. Elias ducked, rolled away. Blood trailed behind him. She touched the cut on her leg. Her eyes went wide for half a second. You dare wound me? Elias stood straight again, breathing hard, knife in hand. You bleed too, he said. The crowd outside went quiet. No more laughs, no more bets called out. Everyone watched. The timers on the screens passed 4 minutes, then 5. No one had expected this. Valera felt the fury cascade burn hotter inside her. Her body screamed for rest soon. She ignored it. She charged again. This time, she did not strike to kill fast. She struck to hurt, to tire, to make him panic. Slash after slash, thrust after thrust. She forced him back toward the wall. Elias blocked when he could, caught the lance haft with his forearm once, took the shock through his bones. He used his knife to parry when the blade came close. Sparks flew when metal met energy. One thrust got through. The lance tip punched into his side. Not all the way, stopped by ribs, but deep enough. Elias gasped. He grabbed the haft with both hands, held it still for a second. Blood ran over his fingers. Valeera pushed, her strength far greater. She drove him back against the wall, pinned him there. "End it," she said. "Beg." Elias looked up at her, face pale, eyes steady. "No." He twisted his body, used his weight to pull the lance offline. The tip came free from his side with a wet sound. He dropped low, slashed at her thigh, same spot as before, deeper this time. Ichor sprayed. Valeera stepped back, limped once, surprised again. She looked down. The cut was bad. Not fatal, but bad. Her leg felt heavy now. Elias pushed off the wall, stood again, knife dripping green. Valeera stared. Then she laughed, but the sound came forced. "You think small wounds stop me? I am made for war. You are made of meat." She raised the lance. The fury cascade still burned, but cracks showed now, tiny fractures in her chitin from the strain. Heat poured off her in waves. She attacked once more. Elias did not run. He met her halfway. He ducked the first swing, stepped inside her reach, slammed his elbow into the joint under her arm. The same spot he had noticed earlier. The armor there had a small gap. His elbow hit hard. Something cracked. Valeera cried out, not loud, but real. She swung wild. Elias caught the haft again. This time he pulled, hard, used all his weight and what strength he had left. The lance twisted in her grip. She yanked back, stronger, but he did not let go. His boots slid on the bloody floor. His bad leg gave more. Pain shot up his spine. Still he held. Valeera pulled harder, lifted him off his feet for a second, then slammed him down. Elias hit the floor hard. Air left his lungs. He rolled away before the lance came down. The blade struck where his head had been, cracked the floor. He got up slow, one hand on his side. Blood poured between fingers. Valeera stood over him, breathing rough now. Her power cells flickered. The fury cascade timer in her mind blinked red. 30 seconds left before collapse. She pointed the lance at his throat. "Stay down." Elias looked up, blood on his teeth when he spoke. "Can't." He pushed to his feet again, slow, shaky, but up. Valeera felt something new, not anger, not pity, something colder. Fear? No, impossible. She lunged one last time. All her speed, all her strength. Elias did not dodge. He stepped forward, into the strike. The lance went through his upper chest, just under the collarbone, out the back. Pain exploded white in his mind. He almost blacked out, but he did not. Instead, he grabbed her arm with both hands, locked the lance in place, pulled himself closer along the blade, face to face now, close enough to see the tiny cracks in her eyes. Shocked. Elias spoke through blood and pain. "You fight perfect," he said. "We fight ugly. We fight long. We fight until nothing left to fight with." He raised his knife, slow, shaky, pressed the tip to the soft spot under her jaw, where chitin met throat. Valeera's mandibles opened. No sound came. The fury cascade ended. Her body locked. Muscles seized. Pain flooded in all at once. She dropped to one knee. The lance fell from her hand. Elias pulled free with a wet sound. He staggered back, knife still raised. He did not strike. He waited. Valeera looked up at him. Ichor ran from her mouth, her eyes wide. The sphere stayed silent. Outside, the crowd held its breath. Elias spoke one word. Yield. Valera stared. Then, slow, she lowered her head. The fight was over. The sphere stayed quiet after Valera dropped to one knee. Her lance lay on the floor, violet fire gone out. Ichor pooled under her, from the cuts on her leg and arm. Her chest moved fast, short breaths. The fury cascade had ended hard. Pain rushed in like cold water. Her perfect body felt broken now. Joints ached, muscles shook, she could not stand yet. Elias Kane stood a few steps away. Blood ran from the hole in his chest where the lance had gone through. His shirt was soaked dark red. One arm hung useless. His bad leg trembled under him. He held the knife in his good hand, point down. He did not raise it. He did not move closer. He just stood there, breathing slow and rough. Outside the clear walls, the crowd made no sound at first. Thousands of eyes stared. Screens showed every detail. The blood on the floor, the cracks in Valera's chitin, the way Elias still stood, even though he looked half dead. Betting boards froze. Timers stopped. No one knew what to say. Then a low whisper started. It grew. Aliens from every corner of the galaxy looked at each other. Some shook their heads. Some leaned forward. A few humans in the back seats smiled small, tired smiles. Valera looked up at Elias. Her large black eyes searched his face. She saw no hate, no joy of winning, just the same calm she had hated from the start. Blood dripped from his chin. He wiped it away with the back of his hand. She tried to speak. Her voice came weak. How? Elias did not answer right away. He took one step closer, slow, careful. His boots left red prints. You built yourself to win fast, he said. Strong, fast, perfect. You expect the fight to end quick. You push everything at once. He coughed once. Blood flecked his lips. He kept going. We don't do that. We don't have perfect bodies. We don't have power cells. We get hurt, we bleed, we break. But we keep going. One more step, one more breath. That's all we know. Valera's mandibles moved slow. She looked at her fallen lance, then at her own hands. Cracks ran through her armor like thin lines on glass. She had never seen them before. You let me hit you, she said. On purpose. You took the lance. You pulled yourself close. Elias nodded once. Had to get inside your guard. Had to make you use more than you wanted. Had to wait for the crash. Valera lowered her head. Ichor dripped from her mouth to the floor. I am undefeated. Not anymore, Elias said. Not mean, just fact. She looked up again. Anger flashed for a second. Old pride. Then it faded. Something else took its place. Not fear. Not shame exactly. Respect, maybe. Or understanding. The arena AI's voice filled the sphere. Calm. Clear. Combat paused. No fatal wounds detected. Champions may yield or continue. Decision required. Valera stared at Elias. He stared back. Her hand shook. She touched the spot under her jaw, where his knife had pressed. The skin there felt soft, weak. She had never noticed it before. Then she did something no one expected. She raised her other hand, palm open, toward him. I yield. The words came quiet, but they carried. The AI answered at once. Zerath Dominion Champion yields. Victory to Terran Coalition Representative. The three disputed systems remain under United Terran Coalition control. Trial concluded. A deep tone sounded. The sphere's gravity eased. Small medical drones hummed in from the sides. They floated toward both fighters. Valera stayed on her knee. She did not move. Elias lowered his knife, slid it back into its sheath. Then he did something else no one expected. He stepped forward. Slow, painful. He held out his good hand. Valera looked at it. The hand was rough, cut, bloody, but steady. She stared for a long moment. Then, slow, careful, she reached up. Her four-fingered hand closed around his. Not tight, just enough. Elias pulled. Not hard, just enough to help her stand. She rose, tall again, but not proud the same way. Her legs shook. Her armor creaked. She leaned on him a little. He did not push her away. Medics reached them. Human medics in gray suits. Zarath medics with shining tools. They moved in careful. Valera looked at Elias one more time. "Who are you?" she asked, soft, almost a whisper. Elias gave a small shrug. It hurt his chest. "Just a man," he said, "who didn't want to lose today." She nodded once, slow. The medics took over. They guided her toward the exit platform. She walked with help. Her head stayed high. But something had changed in her walk. Less like a princess, more like someone who had learned something hard. He did not fight them. He looked back once, watched her go. The crowd started to make noise again. Not cheers at first, just talk. Loud talk. Questions. Some aliens stood up. Some pointed. Word spread fast through the station, through the galaxy nets. The undefeated princess, broken by a human with a limp and a plain knife. In the human section, the young officer who had spoken to Elias before wiped her eyes. She smiled wide. The admiral next to her, old, gray-haired, face like stone, nodded slow. "That's why," he said. "That's why you never bet against us." The platforms carried both champions out of the sphere. Doors closed. The clear ball emptied. Lights dimmed. But the story did not end there. Word reached the Zarath homeworlds fast. Princess Valera returned not in chains, not in shame, but changed. She spoke to her people in the great halls. She told them the truth. No excuses. The human did not win because he was stronger, she said. He won because he refused to stop. We must learn this, or we will lose more than systems. Trouble never stayed gone. But for now, the three systems stayed human. And somewhere in the dark between stars, a message spread quiet but sure. Never underestimate a human. They don't know when to quit. The medical bay on Epsilon Verge Station smelled clean and sharp, like metal and medicine mixed together. Soft lights glowed above the beds. Machines beeped quiet and steady. Elias Kane lay on one bed. Tubes ran into his arm. Bandages covered his chest and shoulder. The hole from the lance had closed, but pain still sat deep inside him. He stared at the ceiling. His bad leg rested straight. He did not move much. Across the room, behind a clear wall, Princess Valera sat on her own bed. Zarath medics worked around her. They sealed cracks in her chitin with warm tools that hummed. Green patches covered the cuts on her leg and arm. Her armor lay in pieces on a table nearby, looking strange without her in it. She wore only a simple gray wrap now. Her tall body looked smaller somehow, not weak, just different. She watched Elias through the wall. He did not look back yet. His eyes stayed on the ceiling. A human doctor came to Elias's side. She checked the screens. "You're healing fast for someone who took a lance through the chest," she said. "Lucky." Elias gave a small smile. It hurt his face. "Not luck," he said. "Just stubborn." The doctor shook her head but smiled too. She left him alone. Hours passed. The station kept turning slow. Outside the windows, stars moved in quiet lines. Valera stood up first. Her legs still hurt, but she walked without help. She went to the clear wall that divided the room. She pressed one hand against the glass. It felt cold. Elias turned his head, saw her. He pushed himself up slow, sat on the edge of the bed. His feet touched the floor. Pain shot through his side, but he ignored it. They looked at each other for a long time. No words at first. Then Valera spoke. Her voice came through a small speaker in the wall. "You did not kill me," she said. "You could have. The knife was at my throat. One move. Done." Elias nodded once. "Didn't need to," he said. "Why?" "Because the fight was over. You yielded. That was enough." Valera's feelers moved slow. "My people do not yield," she said. "We win or we die. That is the way. Always has been." Elias looked down at his hands. They still had dried blood under the nails. "Maybe that's why you lost," he said. Quiet, not mean. Valera clicked her mandibles once. Soft, thoughtful. "I thought humans were weak," she said. "Small, soft, new. I thought you fought because you had to, because you had nothing else." She paused. "I was wrong." Elias met her eyes again. "We fight because we can," he said. "Because someone has to. Because giving up feels worse than pain." Valera lowered her hand from the glass. "I have never felt this," she said. "This weight, not just in my body, in my mind. I see now. Perfection is not enough. It breaks when it meets something that does not break." Elias gave a small shrug. It pulled at his wounds. "We break too," he said. "All the time. We just don't stay broken." Silence came again. Not empty. Full. A door opened. The Concord judge walked in, the tall, thin alien in black robes. He stopped between the two beds. "The decision stands," he said. "The systems belong to Terra. The Dominion accepts. No war follows. Peace holds." He looked at Valera. "Your people wait for your return, Princess. They wait for words." Valera straightened. Even hurt, she looked tall. "I will speak truth," she said. "No songs of glory. No lies. I will tell them what happened, what I learned." The judge nodded. "And you, Captain Kane?" Elias looked at him. "I go home," he said. "Rest. Then, back to work." The judge bowed once to each of them, then left. Valera turned back to Elias. "Will we meet again?" she asked. Elias thought for a second. "Galaxy's big," he said. "But small too, maybe." She nodded. "If we do," she said, "it will not be the same." "No," Elias agreed, "it won't." She stepped back from the wall, turned, walked toward her side's exit. Her steps were slow but sure. At the door she stopped, looked back one last time. "Thank you," she said, "for not ending me." Elias nodded. "Thank you," he said back, "for stopping." She left. Days later, Elias walked out of the medical bay. Still limped worse than before, still hurt, but he walked. A young officer waited for him, the same one who had worried before the fight. "Captain," she said, "shuttle's ready, homebound." Elias looked around the station hall one last time. People stared, some saluted, some just watched quiet. He did not like the attention. Never had. "Let's go," he said. They walked to the docking bay. The shuttle waited. Small, plain, like him. Inside he sat by a window, watched the station pull away, watched the stars turn. He thought about Valera, about the fight, about the knife at her throat, and the hand he offered instead. He did not feel proud, not the loud kind, just steady, like a job done right. On the Zareth homeworld, weeks later, Princess Valera stood in the Great Dome. Thousands of her people filled the seats. Their shells shone under bright lights. They waited for her words. She stood tall. Scars showed on her chitin now. She did not hide them. "I fought the human," she said. Her voice carried clear. "I was sure I would win. I was wrong." Murmurs ran through the crowd. She raised one hand. They went quiet. "He did not win with better weapons," she said, "or greater strength, or speed. He won because his kind does not stop. They break. They hurt. And still they stand. One more step. One more breath. That is their power." She looked out at her people. "We are strong," she said. We are old. We are perfect in many ways, but we must learn from this, or we will lose more than 3 systems. We will lose everything." The crowd stayed silent a long time. Then one voice clicked, then another, then many. Not anger, not shame, something new. Respect. Valera stepped down, walked out alone. Far away, on a small human colony world, Elias Kane sat on a porch. Evening light turned the sky orange. He held a cup of hot drink. His scars itched under his shirt. His leg ached when it rained. But he sat quiet, watched the sunset. A child ran up. "Small boy, human. Are you the one who fought the big bug lady?" the boy asked. Elias looked at him. "Yeah," he said. "Did you win?" Elias thought. "In different ways." The boy frowned, then smiled. "Cool." He ran off. Elias watched him go, took a sip of his drink. Somewhere in the stars, ships moved. Borders stayed calm, for now. But the galaxy remembered. A human had stood against the best the Dominion had, and he had not fallen. Not because he was perfect, but because he was human. And humans never quite knew when to quit. So the story spread. Quiet at first, then louder. From station to station, from world to world. And whenever someone said, "You'll lose, human," someone else would smile small and answer, "Maybe." But deep down, they knew.